And we are live? I definitely didn't hit that button, but I'm glad we went live. What's going on, everybody? NBA Strategy Show, Monday, December 1st. We here. What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman here. 9 games today on the old DraftKings. Lots to talk about. Glad to be here. What's going on, everybody? Good morning. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. We're back to normal now. Back to normal. What's up? I've eaten a lot of mashed potatoes over the past few days. I've eaten a lot of key lime pie over the last few days. And now I'm here to try to make myself feel better after those past 4 days. We're going to have some fun. Crispy, what's going on? Vic. I mean, we got the whole normal crew here. It's good to have everybody for the mornings. We're going to break this bad boy down over the course of the next hour. Walk through each one of these games, have some fun, then go about our merry way for the rest of the day. So, DraftKings, just a 6-gamer tonight. Couple 7s, couple 730s, very easy. We've got a 9, a 9, and a 10. They are not on the DraftKings slate. That's a FanDuel joint. So we'll explore that in a bit. Contacts are all blurry. It's a hell of a Monday, guys. It really is. Driving into work, listening to this, love it. Love it. I keep missing on 5 and 6 legs by one. I'm done with this. So frustrating. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to pick 5 and 6 coin flips correct. That's for sure. I think this is an issue with expectations. Thinking they should happen more frequently than they do. Just thinking. But yeah, we've got a very interesting sprint on the DraftKings slate today. Just a couple 7s, 1 swap, locked and loaded. FanDuel slightly different. We're going to just tiptoe through each one of these games, have a little bit of a chat-ski, and then we'll dip out. I'm going to post some stuff up to Tails today. It's good to be back. It's good to be in my seat. I did have some technical issues getting ready today, which was annoying. For some reason, my display port stopped working, which is annoying because it completely changes the way that I can show my resolutions on my ultra wide. My microphone needed to be plugged into different ports. It's like I went away and then I came back and my computer was mad at me. Joseph, no, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying you should adjust your expectations for how frequently things should happen. My assumption, you're massively over betting 5 and 6 leg parlays with the assumption that they're going to win more frequently than they do. Yeah, don't listen to Prince either. That shouldn't be surprising. I mean, think about it like this. How often do you think you should win a 6-leg parlay? If you pick 6 coin flips, and you want them all to win, six coin flips will win 1.56% of the time. So if you make 100 6-leg coin flip parlays, you'll win 1.5 of them. I'm guessing your expectation here is you should win like 25%. So, you know. Ooh, I lost a 7-leg parlay yesterday because I had Rams on the money line to beat the Panthers. Disgusting. Don't even know why I even put that on there. Yeah, I mean, right there, that's like, there is no gain to that whatsoever. Anyway, let's talk about basketball today. Let's get into it. First game up, Atlanta Hawks, Detroit Pistons. Yeah, I mean, realistically, you could treat it like a Twitter scammer and just be like, yeah, we would have won that parlay if I just dropped all the lines that lost. Just think about that. Just imagine what would happen if you only bet the winners. Hawks Pistons. Let's get into it. So, for the Atlanta Hawks, they are on a back-to-back. They beat Philly last night. Now they're in Detroit. This is not a great spot for Atlanta. Even more important, we don't really know who's playing today. Kristaps Porzingis has missed the last 2. He's also missed 3 out of the last 4 and 6 out of the last 9. Otherwise, we should be fine here. But the status of Kristaps Porzingis will matter. Jalen Johnson first. No. 100%. Jalen Johnson has a 0% chance to be an all-NBA first-team guy unless everybody doesn't play 65 games. And I don't say that as a guy that doesn't like Jalen Johnson, but he has a 0% chance to be a first-team all-NBA guy. Realistically, I don't think he'll be an all-NBA guy at all. But that's a conversation for a different day, I think. But for real, 0% chance at first team. It's probably not even 10% for third team. Or any team, I guess. Anyway, minutes and everything for Atlanta are going to be relatively easy to project once we know their current status for the back-to-back. We don't have that injury report. We're not going to have it till 1:30. So I don't want to go too deep into the logistics of what we can get here for Atlanta. Actually, can I? Give me 1 sec. This is going to get annoying for 30 seconds, but I think I can make this look better. Boop. Let's go to that one. Oh yeah, this is going to be annoying. Okay, reset. Nope, not that one. Oh, that actually worked perfectly. Sort of. Yeah, that should be fine. Does that look okay? Yeah, good enough. Yeah, now we're going. All right, let's look at the other side here for Detroit. Pistons, they had the Heat on Saturday, picked up the dub, so they're not on a back-to-back. They don't have another game tomorrow. They play the Bucks on Wednesday. Some complications here. Duncan Robinson's questionable with the right ankle sprain, but Duren probable, LeVert probable. No other real news from an injury perspective on the Pistons. We didn't have Duren or LeVert last time out. Expectation is that we're going to have them today, so no worries there. Can I make that smaller? That'd be fun. Nope, apparently not. So let me pull that up on the Boom Bust tool. We could take a look at Atlanta and Detroit quickly. We're going to move through this relatively fast today. There are a bunch of back-to-backs, which complicates matters a bit. We're getting about 20% ownership on the DraftKings side to Duren. About 15 for Jalen Johnson. In that 10 range for Asar, Tobias, Porzingis, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Cade just 5. Seems fine here. Not surprised to see Duren look good. Obviously the Porzingis news will either make Porzingis look okay, which is what he does in here now, or make Onyeka Okongwu look a bit better. Obviously not a great spot for Atlanta from a defense perspective. Pistons defense really good. it's really just like, do you want to play the guys that are good? Duran, Johnson, Asar, Tobias, like it's all the right names at the top. There's no value to be found anywhere in this game. So I don't have much of a takeaway here. It's the stuff that's obvious, but we need the Atlanta news. I like the Pistons to win the East. Thoughts? I don't, but they are a move away from that not surprising me at all. I think they're good, but I think they're wildly overrated. I think they're a really good regular season team and not a good playoff team in any way. But realistically, they can make a move at the deadline and that could look very different. But I am not a believer in Cade Cunningham versus other good players. He just doesn't make the shots you need him to make. He'll take them for sure. There's no disagreement there. But until he becomes more efficient, he either needs help or a leap. It's got to be one of the two. Now, would I be surprised if they won the East? No, the East stinks. Anybody can get through it. We just saw it happen last year. But I don't think that they are ready yet. And it really all comes down to Cade for me. Which I know people are going to have a problem with, but if he can't make shots at the rim and can't make a three, that's a problem. Derek White to the Pistons. Why would Boston trade Derek White? Boston's good. Neemias Queta is good. Jaylen Brown, Peyton Pritchard, Derek White. This team's going to be fine. If anything, Boston's going to buy at the deadline. So, Quinn, I don't totally agree with that. Detroit doesn't have the firepower to win 3 series in the East. In a typical year, I would agree with you. But I don't think there's a single good team in the East. I would not be surprised at all if it were Cleveland, New York, Detroit. I'm going to say this out loud now because it won't make a ton of sense, but I would not be surprised if it were Boston, Orlando, Miami, realistically. I think the East is as wide open as it could possibly be. It's all about Ivy on that team. I don't think anything is about Ivy. I don't even think Jaden Ivey is going to be on that team next year. You know who is good? The Oklahoma City Thunder. And that's really all that matters. Let's take a peek at game 2. Cleveland, Indy. Ew. Ew, ew, ew. Let's look at Cleveland. I agree that marketing could help the Pistons. I don't like the price for what that would take. But yeah, I mean, marketing is just additive to good teams. Doesn't have to have the ball. Lethal off ball. Incredible play finisher. Can be good enough defensively. Absolutely, Quinn. I just, if I apply that same logic to every other team, I feel the same way, and then somebody's got to be there. Yeah, I don't, obviously anybody can beat anybody in a 7-game series, but if SGA, Chet Holmgren, and Jalen Williams are healthy in the playoffs, it'll be one of the biggest, if not the biggest, upsets in the history of the playoffs. It'd be like the Knicks beating Boston last year. Would I trade Markkanen for Reeves straight up? If I were the Jazz, I would do that in a heartbeat. If I were the Lakers, I would not do that. Who do I think is the most slept on team? It's so hard because I don't really, I mean, Orlando probably. But I don't really think they're all that slept. I don't really think anybody's slept on. Mitchell, if you think Markkanen doesn't move the needle, you're nuts. Yeah, I mean, the Raptors are 100% not slept on. They need a bunch of sleep. Brandon, we're talking about a team missing one of the 5 best players in the league. It's not like I expect them to go out there and win anything for real, but in the East, sure. But the Raptors are a fake basketball team. We don't have to have that conversation. Let's go to that second game, Cleveland and Indy. So Cleveland's on the back-to-back. Lost to Boston yesterday. They got the Pacers today. By all accounts, it's looking like we're going to get Garland, Mitchell, Tyson, Hunter, and Mobley. However, not out of the realm of possibility that Darius Garland isn't playing here today. And if that's the case, whether that's Ball, Tomlin, Craig Porter Jr., we could get some value here. Matthew, I don't think the Magic are going to be adding all that much at the deadline. Don't forget, they traded everything they have. So we do need this Cleveland injury report. We don't have it right now. We're not going to have Jared Allen, which we know. But we do want to go ahead and see if Garland is playing today. Luke Jones. Davis on the Pistons would not be interesting. Anthony Davis on the Pistons would not make the Pistons better. It would probably make them worse, depending on what went out. Yeah, Travis, my guess is Garland doesn't play. I'm leaving him in for right now just because there's no injury report. And then on the Pacers side, we're getting used to this new look starting lineup. Nembhard, Shepard, Mathurin, Siakam, Jay Huff. Huff got 25 minutes last time out, starting over his past 2. Kind of standard issue stuff for the Pacers. They beat the Bulls on Saturday. They're not on a back-to-back or anything like that. So we could take a quick look at Cleveland and Indy. And obviously some of this is subject to change. Magic should turn Banchero into something. They should just wait on Paolo Banchero. Just wait. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. How old is he? 23? Yeah, 23 years and 19 days. Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. In and around league average guys that are 6'10", and can hold up to 28+% usage rate, you don't just cut bait. Do I think the Hawks should trade Trey? I mean, depends what you get. The advanced stats guys hate on Banchero. All right, S&P, you're going to feel this one. No, I can look at 2 separate things at the same time. Do the advanced numbers for Banchero look like what you want them to? No, not at all. But to be a guy that can come into the league at 20 and support close to 30% usage and still be either average or above average as an offensive player, like, most guys couldn't do this. Does it end up working? I don't know. But, you know, guys that play like a point guard and can guard a center don't grow on trees. He was literally tanking their offense. He played 12 games. 12 games. They integrated a brand new guy that likes to have the ball. I'm going to give it more than 12 games. But when you can be around league average and support a 28% usage rate, and you handle like a guard but look like a center, yeah, I want to find out what that looks like. They'll get there eventually. Look, we see this all the time. This could just be like a Cleveland situation. You get to where you're good, and then you need to turn JB Bickerstaff into somebody else. In this case, maybe you need to turn Jamal Mosley into something else. 25% ownership for Evan Mobley, about 25 for TJ McConnell. Both of those numbers look fine relative to our optimal rates. Jalen Tyson getting a little bit of love. He'll be starting. Guard forward eligibility, solid value for 9 o'clock in the morning. Donovan Mitchell got to 15% owned. You could see that creep up a little bit more if Garland is out. Benedict Mathurin around 10. Lonzo around 10. That probably creeps up a little bit as well. It's a solid game. Look, Cleveland's going to get a lot out of facing Indy. McConnell will scare the hell out of me, but solid enough value. It'll start to go away as we get more of it throughout the day. But we need that Cleveland injury report. Non-zero chance we can get to like Craig Porter Jr. Steven, I agree. It's always good. Like, they're going to make the most out of this situation, is my guess. That's Boston, by the way, for those that aren't looking at anything on the screen. Let's go to game 3. Milwaukee and the Wizards. Bucks are 9.5-point favorites in Washington. Giannis, probable. KPJ is back. Now, they beat Brooklyn on Saturday. Obviously at Washington today. They've got the Pistons on Wednesday. We got 25 minutes out of KPJ. In his first game back. So they're going with Rollins and KPJ. That right there is a really not good defensive team with Ryan Rollins, KPJ, AJ Green, Giannis, and Turner. But that should be really good spacing. You'd think. All right, now Mitchell, now you're on the right track. I agree. Shout out to Jordan Walsh as a role player. That dude is a rebounding machine. So now we've got a much more normal bench. Kuzma, Portis, Trent, Gary Harris, Cole Anthony. We don't really know how many minutes Giannis is going to play. He played 28 in that cup game. Would have liked a couple more. 19 in the blowout against Brooklyn. I'm thinking he's going to be in that 27, 28 range. It's Washington. It's not like you're expecting them to step on the gas in this one. But keep an eye. They're also more than a little bit live to change up this starting lineup. I don't know why you would start Rollins and Kevin Porter Jr. together along with AJ Green. To me, you're either taking out... I don't know why you wouldn't start Gary Trent or Gary Harris over KPJ. It makes zero sense to me, but what they're going to do is not going to be what makes sense to me. For the Wizards, they got bludgeoned by the Pacers on Friday. They are on the front half of a back-to-back. They've got Philly tomorrow. Sarr is questionable. Will Riley is questionable. Otherwise, this should be normal. Now, if Sarr is out, we're going to create some value somewhere. Whether that's Vucevic, whether that's Bagley, it's going to be something. If he's in, then this is going to be business as usual for the Washington Wizards. There's not a ton of ownership coming in yet. Revenge narrative alert for Chris Middleton, 15% owned, about 20% optimal. $5,300 Bilal Coulibaly is about 10% owned. Keyshawn George is about 10% owned. Alex Sarr is about 10% owned. There's absolutely no ownership coming into Milwaukee, and that shouldn't be all that surprising. If you're going to get to anything, the guy I want to click on is Giannis. Realistically, I think he could take some shots at KPJ. We have no idea what his minutes will look like. Does he close? I wouldn't expect him to, but he can. And if he does, that's going to be many more minutes. So I do think KPJ looks interesting in GPPs. Probably has something to do with the positive leverage here. After that, it just goes away. Do I think Miles Turner is interesting for 2% in a matchup against the Wizards? Sure do. Sure do. Oh, yeah, Kuz revenge as well. Forgot about that. Does CJ McCollum get any, like, sympathy revenge going up against Milwaukee for Dame? Probably not. All told, like, while Middleton is the guy with the most ownership, Joseph would love to see Giddey on a contender. Yeah, there's a reason you won't ever see Josh Giddey on a contender. I don't think it's what you're thinking, though. If a team wanted Josh Giddey to be on a contender, he'd still be on the Thunder. But instead, they got rid of him for a guy that should be on a contender. If Josh Giddey's on a contender, you better hope he's the sixth man. I don't want to play Middleton. I don't mind playing Koulibaly, George, or Sarr. But if Chris Middleton's the most owned guy in this game for Washington, sign me up the opposite direction. Let's go to the next one. And by the way, guys, hit the like button if you haven't done it yet. You guys bludgeoned the gravy promo on the DFS side. Like, shout out to you guys. I mean, I guess it's telling of how good our tools are, whether it's projections or ownership or our sim stuff. It's clear you guys wanted it. You guys signed up for the gravy promo. Double what we expected. So it's good to have you guys here. If you're listening this for the first time, coming here out of Thanksgiving, you're like, oh, I signed up for this Stokastic site. Seems to be going pretty well. Thank you for being here. It's always fun to have a bunch of new people around the house. Talk about my boy Edie having his coming out party against the Kings. Well, look, I love Zach Edey. And I have absolutely been on Zach Edey's island from the jump. I can't celebrate a coming out party against the Kings. I could have a coming out party against the Kings. All right, Charlotte Hornets at Brooklyn. I don't know what this is airing on, but whatever it is, it's overqualified. The Hornets beat the Raptors on Saturday. They've got Brooklyn today. They've got the Knicks on Wednesday. We've got a Q tag on Trey Mann. Otherwise, nothing of value here. Tijan Salon available. Good for him. We still haven't gotten that like outlier LaMelo Ball minutes game. The most he's played over the past 10 games is 29. I stand by the fact that it might happen eventually. Knippel's still playing a ton. Miles Bridges still playing a ton, but Hornets are pretty normal at this point. Brooklyn, I don't know what they are, if we're being honest. Terrence Mann's questionable. MPJ back. He's probable today. He's missed the last two. Noah Clowney probable as well. So we're going to get the Igor Demon, who's been playing 29, 28, 28, and 30 minutes over the last four. Terrence Mann, if he's in, we expect him to start. If he's not, buckle up. Then MPJ, Clowney, and Clax. You're going to get those 20-minute games against all these idiots from the bench that we'll never understand. But realistically, the Q tag for Terrence Mann will free up something. Oddly enough, Trey Mann questionable. Terrence Mann questionable. What are the Mans doing before this game? How are the only two questionable players in this game brothers? How does that work? Do they have like a very raucous Thanksgiving? Something go down? One of their aunts and uncles said something crazy? Who knows? Who knows? But yes, the only thing questionable in the Hornets-Nets game today only has the last name Man. You don't see that every day. What you do see in this game, however, is 55% ownership coming into the Igor Demon. 4,400 point guard only. Why is his price not moving? This dude's played 28 minutes in 4 straight. He's still 4,400? And now we get a matchup against an actual shit team? Like, if he's still 4,400, but they play the Thunder, it's like, cool, fine. We won't worry about it. No, they play the Hornets. So the Igor Demon is 55% owned. 55% optimal. And right now, the number one play of the day. Brandon Miller's about 20% owned, 6,400. I certainly like that. Moussa Diabate is third. Claxton and Clowney are both around 15. MPJ around 10. Kalkbrenner around 10. Like, it's not that I don't like the Igor Demon, because he's great, but I like a lot of these other pieces too. Could Brandon Miller be more interesting in a game where he might play more minutes? Justin Sports, they're brothers. Both have the last name Man. How else would it make sense? What do you mean? Are you trying to tell me that everybody named Williams isn't a brother or sister? I don't believe that. I just go by last names. Man and Man. Like Zion James, that's LeBron's son, right? That's how I thought names worked. $8,400 Michael Porter Jr., small forward against the Hornets. I'm intrigued by that. I like the pay-ups here. I had a lot more of LaMelo on Friday than I expected to. That's going to happen again today. Brandon Miller's already getting the love, but I'm interested in LaMelo. I'm interested in MPJ. I even have a little bit of interest in Con Knipple. These are the spots that I want to try to get more of these crap teams in these situations where we might actually get real starter run. MPJ don't pass the rock. Good. I don't want him to. I want him to shoot every time he touches the ball. And luckily for us, I think he kind of wants to do that too. I think he's pretty aware of the team that he plays for. But I find this game fascinating, and it's even more so than the Igor Demon. See? Quinn gets it. Her brother Zaire is playing in this game. Guys, we got 2 more games left on this DraftKings side. We'll scoop it all up. We'll take a look at the FanDuel side in a second. We're going to go to Clippers and Heat. And we really don't have anything interesting to say about the Clippers today. Bogdanovich is out. He's been out. Derek Jones Jr. is out. He's been out. Clippers are 6.5 point dogs here in Miami. Harden, Dunn, Leonard, Collins, Zoo. Nothing's changing here for the Clippers. We know what they're doing. We know their rotation. They've yanked Brook Lopez. We're here now. And then we go to Miami, a team I don't understand in any way. So Hero, Powell, Wiggins, Jovic, all available. Jaime Jaquez is questionable. We also have Q tags on Jameer Young, Yakashonis, Johnson, Gardner, Golden. The only guy that is officially out is Terry Rozier. Muhammad, if you like Nick Batum, don't register today. I would go ahead and skip that. I think you should skip that. Now, if Jaime Jaquez is out, I don't think it's going to matter all that much. You just get like the right minutes for Pelle Larsson, the right minutes for Drew Smith, the right minutes for Jovic. I have no idea who's going to be bouncing in and out here. I really don't. So let's look at this game. Heat Clips. 25% ownership to John Collins. 25% ownership to James Harden. 25% ownership to Ivica Zubac. And then we get about 20 to Chris Dunn. After that, basically nothing. Nobody on Miami even close. 9% to Davion Mitchell. Kawhi getting a little bit of love. Nick Batum is 8% owned. Again, don't get excited about that. He's 3,400 and projected for 15 fantasy points. We'll find better stuff than Nick Batum by the time this day is over. Is he playable? Yes. Should you want to play him? No. If I'm looking at the top end of these Clippers guys, since they're the guys that are most owned, I guess realistically, Collins is the dude. I don't love Harden here at 9,800, but obviously he's playing a ton and is involved a ton. I do kind of like Chris Dunn at 4K just for this matchup. Because whether it's Tyler Hero or Norm Powell that's on the floor, like, Chris Dunn's going to get that, like, assignment the whole time. Stepping in a couple extra possessions, I don't think that's all that bad. Chris, if we're lucky, they're going to gift them the first pick in the draft. That would be amazing. But I like the Clip side. I really don't like the Miami side. Am I intrigued by a $7,500 Bam Adebayo? Sure. I find it very difficult to want to go to like Hero or Powell or Wiggins. Mitchell, there's no way for them to blow it up. They don't have any mechanism to actually blow it up. It's not like anybody's going to trade for James Harden. I don't think anybody's going to trade for Kawhi. You could trade Zoo, but that's like the one thing you shouldn't do. After that, you're just out of players that are worth a shit. They're just going to play out the string, and once these contracts end, they'll get out of this game. But they're dead. They can't blow anything up. You can't get anything for James Harden. You certainly can't get anything for Kawhi Leonard. They're dead. They're just treading water. They have no mechanism to do any of that. Damn right, no one loves Josh more than Josh. I'd highly recommend people having more confidence in themselves. To be fair, I have been sitting in this chair for the better part of a decade talking about basketball. If I don't know all, no one does. What if Ballmer guarantees an endorsement deal in free agency? Might help. Might help. It would make me sign, that's for sure. All right, let's look at this final game of the DraftKings slate. Chicago Bulls, Orlando Magic. Bulls lost to the Pacers on Saturday. They play the Magic today. They've got the Nets on Wednesday, so no back-to-back issues here. For Orlando, same sitch. They beat Detroit on Friday. And they got the Spurs on Wednesday. Franz Wagner available. No other interesting injury news from Orlando. Dalen Terry is doubtful for Chicago. Zach Collins is doubtful for Chicago. Jalen Smith and Isaac Okoro are both already out. So the Bulls are missing some people. I'm just not sure if it's going to matter from a fantasy perspective. So let's take a look at these guys first. And let's see what we have. Bulls in, Orlando in. We've got about 20% ownership coming into Jalen Suggs at 7K. I think that makes a ton of sense. I have no issue whatsoever getting to a 15% owned Franz at small forward. However, I do think there are other interesting small forward options, whether that's Brandon Miller. Who am I missing? There was another one I know I liked. I'd have to look back. I think Wendell Carter Jr. looks fine for 5,500. Anthony Black scares me a bit, but he's just playing like 28 minutes a night. Look at the Orlando ownership, though. In this table, Orlando. The highest owned guy from the Bulls is 4% Vooch. And I think that makes sense. Do I think you could play Vooch, Kobe White, Josh Giddey in a GPP? I guess. This is a terrible matchup. It's just terrible. And then you're just mixing and matching these Orlando guys, which seems scary. If I'm looking at Orlando, I want Suggs, Bane, and Franz before I get to Wendell Carter Jr., Anthony Black, Goger, Tristan Da Silva. I just do. And realistically, I don't think I want anything from Chicago. So here's one thing I want to see right now, since we've taken a look at every game on the DraftKings main. I want to see what the optimal is to start the day. And that appears to be TJ McConnell, Lonzo Ball, Jalen Tyson, Evan Mobley, Jalen Duren, Igor Demon, John Collins, and James Harden. As of right now, that is the optimal lineup on DraftKings in our projections to start the day. 261 projection, 212 ownership. That ain't bad. 93% sim ROI. And the funny thing is, I think we could probably pretty easily make this lineup better. Can I improve? I'm guessing I can't improve anybody 1-to-1. No, McConnell stays. I could see a scenario where I could upgrade Jalen Duren. Can I see a scenario where I upgrade John Collins? Nope. Can I see a scenario where I upgrade James Harden? Probably. Ooh, wow. He is 4.5 points ahead of Donovan Mitchell. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. Is there anything? If I just make that Zoo, it leaves me 1,800. Who can I, if I could upgrade TJ there, that would be great. Ooh. Just out of curiosity. What does that look like? Gave up some projection, but took a chunk out of ownership. Yeah, still in the 80s. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. But that's where we stand for today, folks. Let me hit you guys with the schedule for the rest of the day because we have quite a bit going on. Because it's Monday. You guys know what we do on Mondays. NFL Strategy Show coming up next. You're going to get Laffy. You're going to get Greg. We've got the NHL Strategy Show at 1:30. And then because it's Monday, it's Monday Night Football. I will be live with Eric Lindquist at 6 for the live before lock for the NBA side. Laffy will be live with Spags tonight at 7:15 for Monday Night Football live before lock. Also, keep your eyes peeled for the perfect lineup Monday Night Football edition coming from myself and Laffy sometime soon. Allen Iverson willed his team to the NBA Finals without being super efficient. This isn't sure. The part you're missing in that entire paragraph about Cade might be your evaluation of Allen Iverson. Personally, I would stop to think, how did they make the finals? The answer is a lot less Allen Iverson, but it does sort of fit the vibe here from the same perspective, in that defense can get things done. Is playback coming back soon? Probably not. Kind of depends. Ooh, when did they do this? I like this little sidebar. So, where's the little what they did that year joint? Did I click on the wrong thing? I did. So Philly, the year they lost to the Lakers. 13th in offensive rating. 5th in defensive rating. Second time. Sorry. First time. That's huge. That's huge. And that's 5th in spite of him. Because let's remember, dreadful defensive player, Allen Iverson. So shout out Theo Ratliff. Shout out Dikembe Mutombo. Shout out Aaron McKee, George Lynch. If the Pistons want to make the finals, it's happening on the backs of like Isaiah Stewart, Asar Thompson, and Jalen Duren is my thought process. Again, I love Cade. I don't say these things because I don't like him. He's 24. Do I think he'll get more efficient? I do. But this guy can't make a layup. And has never been able to make a layup. This is not a new thing. If that dude starts to be able to finish at the rim, look out. I want to see it. It's way more fun to see it. But he doesn't do it right now. And the thing that makes the least amount of sense is it's not because he's little. He's just a bad finisher. What does that look like in the playoffs when it's harder to finish at the rim than it ever is? I don't think it's good. That dude needs to like lock himself in a gym with Kyrie Irving for 2 months. Again, love Cade. Can't teach size. However, dude needs to learn how to make a layup. I'm not a big, I was watching and I saw this thing, but I was, in fact, watching the end of that Pistons game on Friday. 2 of those possessions down the stretch, Cade just beats his guy, gets to the rim, misses 2 bunnies. It's just like, oh shit, I guess it does happen over and over and over again. Banchero is bad at the rim. Also true. Also true. How many does he shoot? Yeah. Yeah, realistically, you need Paolo Banchero to make 70% of those rim attempts. And realistically, you want Cade where Banchero is. All right, so this will be the final thing we do before we dip. Because I want to think about it for a second. Cade shoots 6.9 attempts per 75 at the rim. So let's just say 7. And we're talking about increasing his rim percentage by just 5 percentage points. So that would be like a third of a point per game across 70 games. That little bit alone is enough to just make him be like a 58 and change. Like it gets him to neutral. Just finishing at the rim for Cade as an average player gets him to neutral and completely changes the scope of what Cade Cunningham is. And I hope we see it because he's awesome. John, no disagreement there. Alrighty, folks. It's good to be back. NBA Strategy Show once again from the friendly confines of my office. We got a ton going on for the rest of the day. Keep your eyes peeled. Whether it's DFS, whether it's OddsShopper, Tails, you guys can see it all. Doesn't get any easier.